This video is for topic 5-4, which is writing equations of lines given 2 points on day 1. The bell work asked us, it says below is an example of how to find the slope between these points. So this would be our example. So this below is an example of how to find the slope between 2 points, and they are asking if we would like to know an easier way. Absolutely. How can we do this without having to do it by hand? So they tell us when given 2 or more points, you can also use a stat function in your calculator to find the equation of a line. You can go to stat, press enter, clear out anything that is in list 1 and list 2, and then enter your x values in L1, your y's in L2, press stat 4 and calculate. So we're going to go through those steps in this video today. So they ask us to find the slope between these 2 points. So what we're going to do first is create our table with list 1 and list 2. When I write these points, I just rewrite them like how we filled in a table in that earlier unit. So if you notice, my x's are in list 1 and my y's are in list 2. Excuse me. So on our calculator, we are going to enter and follow these steps. So you can see the calculator right here. I'm going to click the stat button, which is this button right here. It is directly under delete. If I zoom in, you can see that it says stat. So the stat button. Right here. So I click stat and this comes up. I want to edit, so I'm just going to click enter right here. Now I'm going to enter exactly what I typed. So I had 1, 3, negative 2, 10. So I'm going to make my calculator look exactly like that. So 1, enter, 3, enter, scroll over and put my y's in L2. So negative 2, enter, 10, enter. So you can see it looks exactly like what I wrote down. Now I'm going to go back to stat. So this button here. I'm going to scroll over 1 to calc, scroll down to 4 and click enter. And then I just keep clicking enter until this pops up. So they tell me A is 6, B is negative 8, and Y equals AX plus B. So on my paper, I'm going to write down everything and then we're going to explain what it means. So A is 6. B is negative 8, and then they told me up at the top AX plus B. So I'm just copying down what I got from that calculator. So they ask us to find the equation of the line. So my final answer, instead of A, I'm going to replace A with 6 because they told me that's what 6 or what A was. In this case, A and M are the same thing. Oh, and I apologize, that's a negative 8. And then minus 8. So I'm taking my A value and plugging it in here. My B value goes here, and I am done with that problem. So that's all you have to do, but you do need to know all of the steps to do it. So again, problem 2, we're going to make our list beforehand. So I have negative 2, 5, 4, 8. So I'm going to put in negative 2, 4, 5, and 8, and I'm going to do it on my calculator. So I go back to my calculator. So on my calculator, I click that stat button again. Edit is highlighted, so I press enter. Now, in order to clear things out, we want to clear them out, not delete them. So what I'm going to do is scroll up to where the list is highlighted and click the clear button down below. So this clear button, and then come back down. and those steps are listed for you. Now you can see that list 2 is cleared out. So I scroll over to list 1, highlight list 1, click the clear button, and clear it out. Oh my gosh. Apologies. Okay. So now that this is all good to go, everything is empty, so I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. So I have -2, 4, 5, and 8. So -2, 4, 5, and 8. And remember that you press enter between all of those inputs. So I can see that the table in my calculator directly matches what is on my paper. I go stat, scroll over to calc, down to 4, enter as many times as it takes, and I can see that A is 0.5 and B is 6. So this is what I got from my calculator. So y equals 0.5x plus 6. So again, if you know the steps, you can use your calculator to be successful. Now problem 4, we're going to do the exact same thing. Anytime you see a table, you can plug that table directly into stat edit to be successful. So I'm going to type in -2, -1, 0, 3, 1, 3, 5, and 11. So I go back to stat calc. And if you forget how to clear out your list, you can also know that you could just type over them. So I've already typed that into my calculator. So -2, -1, 0, 3, 1, 3, 5, and 11. So I make the table in my calculator look exactly like the table on my paper. And remember that the stat button is this button that I'm highlighting right here. From here, we go stat, calc, 4, scroll all the way down to calculate, and we get 2 and 5. So A is 2, B is 5, so y equals 2x plus 5 would be my answer. So again, you can very clearly see that anytime you have a table or 2 points, just plug it into stat edit and repeat those steps over and over and over. Problem 5, we have a y-intercept, which is the point 0, -3, and an x-intercept, which is the point 90. We have 2 points, so we can go to stat edit. So for this one, I go edit. Now, because this list is more than I need, I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. So remember, we go up to the list is highlighted, press clear, and go back down. We do not hit the delete button. The delete button deletes the list. We just need to clear it. So we have the point 0, -3, and 9, 0. So my y-intercept of -3, my x-intercept of 9. I'm just going to double check that that is correct. Yep. So from here we go stat, calc, scroll down to 4, enter, 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 enter. And A is 0.3 repeating, B is -3. Remember that if you enter 0.333333333333333 math, enter, enter, it will turn it into the fraction of 1/3 for you. So A is really 1/3, B is -3, so y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Problem 6 asked me to find the y-intercept of the line graph below. Fill my answer in the bubbles on the grid. So I'm going to take these 2 points and put them in stat edit. So negative 2, 7, 6, 1. So if you remember earlier, I was telling you that when you go stat edit, you can clear out the list, or sometimes you can just type over it. So here, because I have 2 points, I could just type negative 2, enter, 6, enter, and just type over it. 7, enter, 1, enter. So I've put my points in L1 and L2. I click stat, calc, 4, scroll all the way down to calculate, and I get negative 7.5 and 5.5. Because these are small decimals, we don't have to turn them into fractions. If they are repeating, you do need to. So A is negative 0.75, B is 5.5. Now the problem asked us, what is the y-intercept? Your y-intercept is your b value. So we are just plugging that b value into our grid. This is called a floating grid, meaning that you can put 5.5 here. You could put 5.5 here. You could put it in the middle. The only thing you can't do is put like 5.5. You can't do that because that doesn't mean 5.5. So you can put 5.5 wherever you want. I like to put it at the beginning so I don't have to worry about anything else at the end. And then we bubble 5, the point, and 5. This question asks us which function has negative 4, negative 2 on its graph. So one thing I could do, because I have a point and I need to figure out where does it belong, I can plug in negative 4 for x, negative 2 for y, and see which one satisfies this. So when I'm plugging in, I want to see if I plug in negative 4 for x and negative 2 for y, does that equal negative 16? So negative 12 plus 4, because negative times negative is positive. Negative 8 does not equal negative 16, so it would not be answer choice A. Answer choice B, if I plug in negative 4 for x, will I get negative 2 for y? So again, I'm plugging in negative 2 here, negative 4 here. 3/2 of negative 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10, which does not equal negative 2, so it's not B. D, plug in negative 4 for x, negative 2 for y, see if this one will work. So I am looking to see if negative 2 equals, this is negative 8, negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10, which is not negative 2. So hopefully C is going to work out for us. So negative 4, negative 2, does this equal negative 8? So negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8, which does equal negative 8, so C is my correct answer. Now, another thing you could do is solve all of them for y and put them on a graph, but this is an easier way to talk about the graph without actually graphing if we don't have a graph. So how would you explain the calculator steps to Andy? We click stat, enter, put x's in L1 and y's in L2. Then click stat, scroll to the right, go down to 4, click enter a bunch of times, until A and B pop up.